Appreciate everybody coming through. If you coming through, hey, this is EriKiYah Yahudah, Unapologetic Truth Channel with EriKiYah. And in light of what has gone on yesterday, the 10th of September, on the Gregorian calendar of 2025, I wanted to share my thoughts and also caution those of us with discernment, those of us who are set apart believers of the way, should I say, of the truth of the way. I wanted to share my thoughts and just caution you all as a reminder to not get distracted. Okay. Once again, I pray everybody's doing well and staying safe, because we truly got to keep our head on a super swivel. But I digress. When I heard about what happened to Charlie Kirk, he is or was a well-known young conservative man who gained a big following. And I'm not sure if that following was just on social media. I don't know too much about his background, but he was so popular that he was going to different college campuses and speaking, sharing his views, his conservative views. And if you're not aware, during one of those events, he was unalived. And it has, of course, sent shockwaves, and definitely in the conservative circles globally, because I believe he was that well known that it was globally that his reach ended up being. Well, when I heard this news, one thing, because I was familiar with him. Let me go back. So, when the pandemic first started, and we were on the lockdowns, in the midst of me coming into the knowledge of the truth of the Most High, I also was listening to different podcasts and things of that nature. And he was one of them that I ended up listening to. And I have to be honest, he did not, like, his views, either he kept them on the low and he didn't let them out fully, or, maybe the MAGA spell casting got to him with the sorcery. I don't know, but I tell you, I watched him because I liked a lot of what he was saying. His rhetoric was not the same rhetoric that he's been putting out in the past several years. That was not happening because I wouldn't have been watching him. But I liked what he had to say, and I'm like, okay, so that's how I knew about him. But later on, of course, come to find out, he was co-signing a lot with the current POTUS of the United States. And I don't know. He could have been trying to make a political run at some point. We don't know. You know what I mean? Like, he could have been trying to go up that ladder. And so he was out there, you know, singing singing the POTUS's praises, so to speak, and, you know, speaking out against people that look like me, and things of that nature. But again, he wasn't doing that, 4 years ago, that I saw anyway. So when I heard about it, it took me aback. I was just like, oh my goodness. But it took me aback more so because, once again, I felt so strongly in my ruach, in my spirit, that the Most High, it was like I felt the fear of the Most High, the reverence of the Most High, because I felt judgment yet again is coming forth. And I had that feeling, that knowing, if you will, that judgment was handed down. Now, do I know that for certain? No, I don't. But I know what I felt in my ruach, in my spirit about it. And it's the same feeling I had when I saw judgment come down in regard to a certain circumstance that happened, not to me directly, but someone that how do I say this? That was in my circle, so to speak, but not, it was more or less because of my employment. They were in my circle. And I saw judgment come down. In fact, the Most High told me that judgment was coming down. And I had to remove myself, which ultimately I did. But I saw that judgment take place. I didn't know how it was going to take place. And it took me aback because I wasn't expecting it to be in the way it transpired. And so I had that same feeling that I felt when I heard about the judgment that took place in that particular circumstance. And that reverence of the Most High. It's powerful. And I just began to be in a state of worship, just thanking the Most High. Like, Father, you are sovereign. You are holy. You're Kodesh. Nobody is above you. Like, that reverence really was coming out, and I was worshiping the Father, and I was praising him, because there's no one greater than he is, and he is in control of it all. He ordains everything. And it's that fear. I believe the word in Hebrew is gadah. But that fear, not only that fear as a child should be afraid of their parent, but it's that healthy, reverent fear that I felt. And I just thanked him. I just said, my Father, no, you can't play with the Most High. You cannot play with the Most High. You're only playing with yourself. When you go against his word, when you go against his people, when you speak against his people, his word is clear. And we don't know when his judgment's going to come down or how, but it does, and it is coming, and it's not done. So this is what I felt in that moment. And as more reaction has come out, things of that nature. And let me step back before I even get into that, because in the midst of all that, then I hear about the another school shooting in Colorado. And there was so much gun violence that was happening yesterday. And my condolences to those families. My condolences. Because what happened with Charlie Kirk ended up polarizing and deflecting, maybe that's a better word, from these occurrences. And that's usually, unfortunately, that's what happens when someone well-known, whether it be in the entertainment industry, to sports, what have you, when someone well-known perishes, these are the things that end up happening. If it's during a time of a tragedy that occurs in society, oftentimes that gets on the second, third, fourth pages of a newspaper, whereas it had significance. Every life has significance given by the Most High. Every Yah given life has significance. And so in the process of all of that, the deflection came and probably is still coming. And this is a man that spent his time partly speaking against certain demographics that did not look like him. And as a result, the very things that he was literally speaking about ended up taking him out of here. Now, I'm also, again, my opinion, and, maybe time will tell, but I don't believe it was random. I absolutely don't. The so-called powers, or the powers that think they be, let me just say that. There could be more to it where they're concerned. I don't put anything past these wicked elites. Not at all. And maybe they needed their martyr to yet again show, oh, this is why we need this, or this is why we can't have people gathering in mass situations. And these, the rhetoric, the propaganda that they keep putting out there, it may never stop until the Most High returns with Yahushua, Yeshaya. But I digress. But so this is what I was feeling at that moment, or those moments, and the after effect and looking at finding out a little more detail about what occurred, and looking at people's comments, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, like it literally started to be grievous to me, because I don't think a lot of people even knew who this man, what he really stood for, what he was putting out there. And, the RIPs and all of the condolences and things of that nature, that was coming from different groups, folks that look like me and what have you, you know. And it was grievous. It was grievous to me because if the tables were turned, and they actually have been turned in the sense that this man spoke out, I believe it was against when George Floyd was unalived. He spoke out not in a good way about these things. And so if the tables were turned, more than likely those condolences would not have been coming from him. Don't know. And, that's neither here nor there now. But in saying all that, I'm saying too, we have to be careful. We have to be so careful not to get in the way of the Most High's judgment. If this is his judgment coming down, his will's going to be done. And we have to fall back. So I was reminded of the passage of scripture that talks about just waiting for the Most High Yah's salvation. And as I looked into that, it was in reference to when the children of Yasharal were leaving Mitzrayim, Egypt, and Pharaoh would not let them go. And that last go-round was when they were leaving. And that's Shemoth, I think it is. Yes, Shemoth, Exodus 14. It's in chapter 14. And they're, they're afraid because they're like, he's pursuing them. And the people are believing that they're going back into captivity or going to lose their lives. But he, meaning the Most High, tells, well, actually, excuse me, it was Moshe, told the people, fear not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahudah. He'll fight for you. All you have to do is wait. And you won't see these Egyptians again. This is going to be the last time you see these people. This is going to be the last time these people oppress you. You're not going back into captivity. All you have to do is hold your peace. And that was summarized in verses 13 and 14. But that's it. We can glean on that today as the righteous, as the set apart believers and the grafted in branches. We can glean on that because we're children of Yasharal. You're not going back into captivity. Regardless of what the current POTUS wants to do, trying to bring back Jim Crow, and his cronies or what have you want to do the same thing. One of them had to lose his life as a result of it just yesterday. You're not going back in captivity. The word's clear. You're never going to see your oppressors again. Once I take you out of here, that's it. So all you have to do is hold your peace and wait. And that's what we need to do. Hold our peace, our shalom. Hold it. Stop getting out here trying to protest, trying to be out here, when more than likely they're going to scoop you up before they scoop up any other people. Some of our people, melanated people that look like me, are getting swept up in these ICE raids. So it don't take much. They want us out here froggy so they can leap. But we supposed to be sitting it out. We supposed to have fatigue. We supposed to be resting where that's concerned. Not resting in this work. We still got work to do. Yahushua, Yeshaya, he can rest until it's time for him to get up off of the throne. He did his part, so he can rest. He earned that right. We have not earned that right. So yeah, we still got work to do out here in these streets, out here in these streets, and out here in these social media streets. We're not done by any means. But we can't perpetuate Stockholm syndrome by lamenting over our oppressors, because they want to keep us oppressed. We can't go back to where we were. Stockholm syndrome has to stay in the past. We can't bring that stuff. We can't keep that stuff in the forefront. It's over. We have to truly be free up here, regardless of what's happening out here. Because whom the sun sets free is truly free. And that's in Yochanan, John 8. So yes, we have to bear in mind all of these things. That our brother, our mothers, our sisters, what have you, our family are those who do the will of the Father. As it says in Luke 8:21, those, the people that want to do the Most High's will. And are following his laws, statutes, and commands. Specifically, it reads, my mother and, I'm paraphrasing, my mother and brethren are these which hear the word of Elohim, the Most High Yah, and do it. So it's not just about hearing, it's about doing. Because there's folks every week on Sunday that sit there and hear, but they ain't doing. So again, don't get distracted, y'all. Stay the course. Keep those blinders on. You know, I'm reminded, and yes, it's from a movie, but the line that she said was so powerful. And it wasn't, I didn't really truly get it until I came into this truth. But when Taraji P. Henson, and what was the movie? But she talked about just running your race. Don't, and she gave the example of horses when they're running a race, like say the Preakness or what have you. They have these blinders on, so they don't know who's, about the horse to their left or to their right, because all they can see is ahead. I don't quite remember that. Maybe, was it Hustle and Flow? I don't know. I'm not even sure. The movie isn't even relevant. It's the line that was relevant. Run your race. Keep your blinders on. Stay on that narrow path, set apart believer. Stop being out here co-signing on wickedness. Because again, going back to different talks that and teaching, if you will, that I was given, when we make alliances and we show our allegiance, when we do that with the wrong people, we then become confederate against the Most High Yah. So we got to move carefully. We got to be mindful of these things. Don't be confederate against the Most High Yah for people that don't care nothing about you. And if they had their way, you wouldn't even be here. For real, for real. Keep your focus stayed on Him. You can never fail. That's a word for me too. Absolutely. So let's continue to just stay focused, use discernment in everything we're doing. Esteem the Most High. Yah willing, I'll come back with another one at another time. But again, know your worth. Know your worth, children of Yasharal. Know your worth, grafted in branches. Know your worth in Abba Yah. And when you know your worth, you will rise above all of this pettiness, because it's petty. All of this is pettiness, and it's for naught. Because only what is done for the Most High Yah is going to last. So let's stay up. Let's keep rising to the top. And what's so appropriate? No weapon formed against me, against you, set apart believer, grafted in branches, is going to prosper. And let's get the rest of that. And it's Isaiah 54:17. Let's get the rest of that. And anyone rising against us, speaking against us in judgment, we shall condemn. We have the authority to condemn because we were given that authority. It's our heritage, our Yah-given heritage. Go on and trample on them serpents and scorpions and on all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. That's the authority too, according to Luke 10:19, that Yeshua gave. We're his Talmudim, so that word's for us too. So y'all stay up, y'all be encouraged. Just keep it tight, y'all. Keep it tight and hang in there. Hang in there. Because they want us froggy. We will not get froggy. Stay up, y'all, on that one. Shalom. Have a yawesome rest of your day, evening, your week. Be Baruch. Be blessed.